Title: Lost in the old peaceful town somewhere in North America. Early morning. The scene opens in a peaceful Canadian city. Snowflakes gently fall, covering the town in a white blanket. Cynthia, a gorgeous 23-year-old half-Indian Caucasian woman, wakes up in her room. She is bright and joyful, anticipating her birthday celebrations. Narrator: there are numerous stories that trigger human imagination. This tale, titled Lost, begins in an old peaceful town, somewhere in North America. Cynthia's home. Early morning. Cynthia kisses her mother, Mrs. Robert, and makes a quick dash to her car. Cynthia: Mom, I'm heading to the supermarket to get some groceries. Mrs. Robert: all right, dear. Drive safely. She gets into her car and drives away. The town is unusually quiet due to the winter weather. Supermarket. Morning. Cynthia parks her car and walks towards the supermarket. The area is eerily silent. Cynthia, to herself, maybe it's the winter keeping everyone indoors. She enters the supermarket, and the door closes behind her with a slight creak. It is morning. 10 a.m. Cynthia notices the absence of familiar faces. Instead, a 6-foot bearded man stares directly at her without speaking. Cynthia: excuse me, where is everyone? The man remains silent, intensifying her unease. She turns to leave, but the door is jammed. The supermarket goes dark. Cynthia, to herself, it was 10 a.m. and bright when I came in. What happened? Fear sets in as she realizes she is trapped without her phone. In the supermarket, darkness sets in. Cynthia spots a hammer and attempts to break the glass door, but it doesn't shatter. She starts to lose control, terrified. Suddenly, the bearded man emerges from the shadows, wielding a rifle. Bearded man: get down on your knees. I want to know how it feels to kill a human. Terrified, Cynthia complies, crying and pleading for her life. Just then, a male shop assistant with bullet wounds on his shoulder charges at the bearded man, and a fight ensues. In the supermarket action sequence, the bearded man chases Cynthia and the shop assistant around the store, firing his rifle. Cynthia and the assistant duck behind shelves and counters, trying to avoid the gunfire. Cynthia, whispering, "We need to find a way out." Shop assistant, overcoming pain, "Follow me. There's a back exit." They make a dash for the back exit, but the bearded man blocks their path, aiming his rifle. Int. Supermarket final showdown. In a tense standoff, Cynthia grabs a can from a nearby shelf and throws it at the bearded man, momentarily distracting him. The shop assistant tackles him to the ground, and they struggle for control of the rifle. Shop assistant: run, Cynthia. Get help. Cynthia runs towards the front door, now able to force it open. She bursts out into the bright winter morning, screaming for help. Supermarket. Morning. Neighbors and passersby rush to her aid, calling the police. Sirens wail in the distance as the police arrive and storm the supermarket. Supermarket aftermath. Cynthia, now wrapped in a blanket, watches as the police escort the bearded man out in handcuffs. The shop assistant is carried out on a stretcher, but alive. Police officer: you're safe now, miss. We'll take care of everything. Cynthia nods, tears of relief streaming down her face. She looks at the supermarket, now a crime scene, and takes a deep breath. Cynthia, to herself, thank you. I'm safe now. Cynthia's home. Evening. Cynthia returns home to her worried parents and younger brother, Bolton. They embrace her tightly. Mr. Robert, we were so worried about you. Cynthia: I'm okay, Dad. Thanks to a brave shop assistant. Cynthia's home night. The family sits together in the living room, relieved and grateful to have Cynthia back home safely. Cynthia looks out the window, the events of the day still fresh in her mind. Cynthia, to herself, life can change in an instant. I'm just glad to be home. Part 2 continues as the bearded fellow named Trombolini escapes from police custody. Follow the story Lost.